Women of Reddit, what are some things a dad should know about raising a girl? Make sure to teach us boys stuff, too. I was an only child, and my dad still taught me to drive a tractor, change a tire, hang drywall, and fix things around the house. These skills have come in handy many times in the years since, and especially when I was living alone. Plus, it was great bonding time for me and dad. Edit. Loving y'all's stories. You are have some cool dads. How you treat her and her mom is how she will expect to be treated by her partner when she's older. I know you probably don't want to hear about what happened with Sarah and Kyle today in pre-algebra or the character breakdown of her latest teen novel, but just listen to her. The moment you dismiss her thoughts and interests is the moment that wall starts going up between. Make an effort to remember some names and details, and it'll mean everything to her. Don't laugh at her or get mad when she bursts into tears over something that you perceive as insignificant. Not only is she young and her world is smaller, but if she's above the age of 10 her emotions are running wild. Basically just treat her like her thoughts and feelings are valid. It's so easy to forget about how big your emotions feel when you're young. And the reason that I, as a 26-year-old woman, still talk to my father weekly and greet him with a big hug is that he listened with empathy. Edit. Yes, do this for boys too. I say it specifically in this thread because a lot of fathers don't know how to handle their daughters' emotions and thus dismiss them. Don't be too overprotective. How long can you protect her? One day she'll be on her own and she'll not know how to. Teach her how to be independent instead. To do things on her own. Teach her self-defense. Teach her to be safe. Edit. I'm glad to hear that y'all share similar views. Wish my dad did that, haha. Too late anyway. I'm so happy that all of your daughters would learn to be independent at least. I was raised by a single dad. When I started my period, he made it clear that my period was not embarrassing and he would get me whatever I needed to take care of myself. Also, if there's not a mom around, please ask some friends how to manage your daughter's hair. Just buy her the tampons and don't be embarrassed about it. My dad raised my sister and I alone after my mom passed away when I was 11, and he was always so weird about this, man. It's not a big deal, the cashier knows it's not for you, lol. Let it. I just want to make clear that my dad is not a bad person to some of the comments I've been receiving. He always did his best and we made it through this stage just like any other, and I'd like to think I learned a lot from it. Do not put bras or underwear in the dryer. Single dad to now college-age dryer. Edit college-age daughter, not college-age dryer, but the dryer is 20 years old as well. Please don't be super grossed out if you see a pad or something. Every girl will get a period, and most will get it fairly young, like 10 or 11 or 12. That means that she is still a child, and you might just have to go buy her pads. It will really make your daughter sad if she works up the courage to say, "Dad, I think I got my period," and you go, "You gross." She needs someone to talk to when she first gets it, and that someone might be you. Also, some cramps can be so painful, like vomiting, crying painful, so don't tell your daughter to suck it up. Edit. Just in case some people don't know, women cannot hold periods. It's not like pee. It comes when it wants to and it will not stop. If you do nothing else right, speak kindly. I don't have the best dad, he was always fighting his own demons and therefore not all that present, but he has literally only ever been kind to me, and that sticks out more than anything. He praises everything we do, compliments us endlessly, and always made us feel like we were obviously capable of anything. It has always been easy to feel his shortcomings really didn't have anything to do with me and were his own personal issues. She is going to get hit on so much earlier than you think. I started getting whistled at walking past construction sites when I was 11. Teach her the skills to deal with rejecting someone politely but firmly and sticking to her guns, metaphorically. Don't start acting as though she will turn into a raging monster the second she hits puberty. It's a weird expectation to have placed on you. On that note, don't blame everything she feels on her hormones. Don't lose your shit when she starts needing a bra. She has breasts now. So what? A father freaking out or being weird about it will just complicate how she feels even more. If mom can't take her shopping, have her sized, take her to a store, get her a fitting room. Done. Don't make her feel weird or bad about needing one. Also, it isn't hard to have her sized. My store won't size you, but they will teach girls how to do so properly and provide you with a room, measuring tape, and advice. When they are teenagers, respect their space as it's a tough time for them, and honestly, it's really difficult to talk to your dad about. We have mood swings and you might think we hate you, but we love you dearly. Be there for her when she needs it too. Your words stay with her for life. Be kind. Edit. Thanks for the gold. How exciting. Edit 2. Thanks for the words of support. For those with similar stories of pain, I am so sorry. The fact we are still here proves we are stronger than those hateful words. Stay strong. Remember, therapy does help. God bless all. Edit. 3. Wow, a second gold. Thanks so much. 2 gold makes me happy. I posted regardless of hateful troll. Not a woman, but a dad of a girl. Front to back is the most important lesson to learn first. Everything else gets complicated, so start there. Do not focus on her physical looks. Teach her good hygiene. Encourage her to eat healthy and to exercise. Teach her context for why certain clothes are more appropriate than others. It's disrespectful to wear short shorts at church. Wear them to the beach if you want, but church is for formal clothes, business casual, etc. But for the love of God, never tell her she's too fat or too skinny. Never tell her she's lucky she's pretty. Never prioritize her beauty over her personality. Never tell her she should wear different clothes for her body type, e.g. your legs look better in long pants than in shorts. If she makes an effort to look nice, comment on specifics like, you did a good job on your makeup, or, that dress is a nice color on you, or I like what you did with your hair. That takes the focus off her inherent looks, you look gorgeous, and puts it on her effort and attention to detail. She will get enough self-esteem blows and unrealistic expectations from society at large. She deserves better from you. Edit. Wow, thanks for the gold and silvers. To clear up a few things that people brought up, and rightly so, it isn't about never commenting on her looks or never telling her you think she's beautiful. It's about not making her feel like that's all you or the world see about her. My dad did better with this than my mom. My dad loves to brag on how smart his daughters are and engages us in intellectual discussions. He talks about our accomplishments. He's also always saying he has beautiful girls, which feels nice, but I don't feel like he looks at me and only sees my physical appearance. When I said, don't focus on her physical looks, I literally meant that her physical looks should not be the primary thing you comment on, make her aware of, focus on. Also, several people seemed confused by that she's lucky she's pretty comment. This isn't about counting blessings. In my part of the world, it's a backhanded compliment and carries an implied insult with it. For example, she's lucky she's pretty because she's not smart enough to have a career. It implies that everything else about her is forgiven and needs to be forgiven. Because she's got good looks. Even making this kind of comment as a joke can be very harmful. Finally, I am not a parenting expert. I am just some chick on the internet who has some kind of idea how this kind of behavior affected her and many people she knows. For any of you out there actually raising kids, I think you are very brave. You will probably make mistakes because parenting is hard, but as long as your kid grows up feeling loved, you've done a damn decent job. She's gonna have sex eventually. If they say they don't want to be touched, they don't want to be touched. This should be done with both genders, but for girls saying they don't want to be touched and then their dad does it anyway really sucks and leads to mixed messages about what your personal boundaries are allowed to be. Edit 1. Thank you for my first silver. Edit 2. Thank you for my first gold. No matter the gender, if you want your child to be your friend as an adult, treat them with respect as a child. Children are children. They don't understand the world. They will be emotional. Oftentimes. Girls can be the extremes of this. But if you belittle her, refuse to understand what she is trying to tell you and don't respect her interests, you will hear from her maybe once a month after she turns 18. Understanding children is hard. Understanding the opposite gender is hard. But making an effort to learn and listen helps you manage both and be a wonderful, understanding dad. You don't have to agree, but just understand where your child is coming from. Don't tell her off for crying. My dad would always shout at me for crying, and it always felt, still does, like a terrible thing to do. I find it hard now to process my emotions and feel 100x worse whenever I do cry as it's something I shouldn't do. Edit. My first gold. Thank you, kind stranger. Treat her like a fully capable human being and absolutely don't infantilize her unless she's an actual infant. Don't grow possessive. No scaring off boyfriends shit unless they absolutely deserve it. Don't shame her for liking girly, superficial things and for masculine things. Teach her how to fight and defend herself. Treat it as normal if she gets a girlfriend. Also, girls can be as sexual as boys. Don't expect her to be pure forever. Don't treat her like she's a precious, delicate flower. The world won't, and she will have a hard time learning that when she's older. Same with boys, don't treat them like they are indestructible. Someday they will want to feel vulnerable and won't think they have a right to do so. After you wash her hair, if you have to comb it, start at the bottom and work up, don't start at the top and muscle through the knots. Give her money when she goes out. She shouldn't be expecting for someone else to pay for her meal. Don't excuse the behavior of men because they're men. Girls are victimized early. I was groped for the first time at 9 years old. My father not excusing that as boys being boys is why I have always been able to recognize that behavior is unacceptable. But I know so many women whose dads didn't teach them this way, who just expect that this is how all men will act because they are men. Some have even been raped but won't report it because maybe they did something to cause it. Teach your girls to demand better. Don't belittle her interests, and, unfortunately, the way people use the term girly is belittling. You may not share them, but they're important to someone you love, so make a genuine effort to be supportive. There is nothing wrong or dirty about talking openly about things like periods. Learn about things like this so you can be helpful and informative to her when she needs you. Also, don't be the dad who refuses to buy his daughter pads, tampons because it's weird. Know someone whose dad straight up refused all the time because that's woman stuff or whatever. Show her how a man should treat a woman, be there for her, listen and learn to do hair. It sounds silly, but you will be her hero for simply doing that. Please, don't badmouth her mother, women or even men to her. My dad told me how much he was pissed off about my mother getting fat, about how she never put out for him, how he'd leave, but it was cheaper to keep her. He also regularly spouted facts to me about how men are dogs, they'll fuck anything, men only really care about looks, everything else is secondary, all men would cheat if given the chance, the worst thing a woman could do is get fat, etc. Now, I can't rest in my marriage because I assume my husband thinks all the same things, but just doesn't say them out loud. Praise her for her achievements, her character, her efforts, especially when they don't yield the expected results. The world is obsessed about looks, she needs to know she's not just what she looks like. Teach her that politeness is only for people who earn it. She has every right to be rude to a bully or a catcaller, piss off, creep is remarkably effective, or to tell a horny date she's not interested as rudely as necessary, rather than giggling awkwardly and hoping he gets the hint. I know women who considered themselves raped and then got a call the next day from the guy wanting to set up another date. What you do matters. What you say matters. When you say you'll do something and don't, it leaves a stinging impression. Do not raise her to be afraid of her body. After pregnancy plus 2 kids, I'm still uncomfortable with my body due to the way I was raised. Never joke about their weight. My stepdad did this and I still hate myself because I thought that's what everyone taught, even when he apologized later. She will date and experiment in high school, but as long as she has a gentleman dad, she'll end up making good decisions. Father of 2 girls, forgive me for breaking protocol, but here is something every dad needs to know. When your baby girl is an infant and breastfeeding, she will get a lot from mama, including hormones. This can lead to her having little breast lumps and, more noticeably, infant menses. Do not panic if you pull off a diaper and see a few drops of blood coming out of her, that's natural and not worthy of panic. Never hurts to inform others or check with your doctor, midwife, doula, anyone who you trust, but it's not an emergency, your daughter is fine, she's just absorbing hormones from mommy. She's eventually going to need some self-defense. Might as well get her in classes early.